What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. I have another EDC walk and talk for you today. Today we're going to be talking about exciting releases. And I'm not talking about knife models that you're excited that you bought and are ready to come in. I'm talking about ones that actually got the heart pumping, making you feel like a kid on Christmas morning. You know that feeling where it's just that excitement. You don't know what you're going to get. You know what you wanted. You hope that it's in there, but you don't necessarily know. But in this instance, you know exactly what's coming, but you have that same type of feeling. So I want to talk about some knives that I was very excited to get this year that were new releases. And then what I'll talk about are models that just really completely, totally excited me to get. And it's not necessarily that they have to be models that were released this year. It could be maybe it was a knife that you were chasing that you really wanted, and it was low supply, very popular to the point where it was actually a little bit hard to get. So let's go ahead and jump into it. One knife that I think is going to surprise people, and it is readily available, but I was really excited to see Tactile Turn develop their very first set of knives, the Tactile Bear and the Tactile Rockwall. And I was originally going to zoom this out and have them all laying out here at the same time, but I'm actually going to change it up a little bit so that you guys can see each knife, and then I'll move it to the side. I was very excited for a couple of reasons, because I really do like their pins. I have quite a few of them. I really enjoy them. I like the milling that they put on their product because it makes it very nice. But I also know, if you're familiar with the company, they have seasonal releases. They do different type of sprint runs where they do different patterns and things of that nature, and they make plenty of them, or they usually do them for a period of time, for like a pre-order or like an order, so you could get in on it and they'll make enough to meet the demand. And I really like that motto, because I believe it allows everyone who really wants that version or that variant the opportunity to get in on it. They'll meet the demand, and then when it's gone, right? They're not going to make it come back. But I've really enjoyed this. I was very excited to get this because it is a very nice duo for gent carry, and they complement each other very nicely. Having one with the other just makes so much sense. They're roughly around the same size, but one's a very thin slip joint that you put in a slip in your pocket with your organizer, which is great for someone like me, and then the other one has the pocket clip so that if you want to carry your gent fifth pocket or main pocket, and it's so lightweight that this is actually a great summer carry, that it makes total sense to do that. And they executed very well, even when there were some issues. I know that some of the bears, when they came out, when they were closing, they weren't grinding them. They were leaving as much blade as they could. So when it was hitting against the standoff down in there, what was happening, it was chipping the blade a little bit. So they just needed to perfect the grinding process, which I think is kind of common when you have a brand new knife that's released. They need to make some revisions and adjustments, and they totally honor the warranty for that. So the other thing that was really exciting is the fact that they're one of the first manufacturers out here making a good heat treat magnet cut. They're treating 60 to 61, which is decent heat treat on magnet cut. Yes, I know 63 is the unicorn or the Goldilocks heat treat area, but 60 to 61 is performing pretty well. And I really like these knives. I was very excited to get them. Couldn't wait to open it like Christmas morning. Well, let me go ahead and get these out of here because I don't want this to be too long a video. The other thing that I would really love to hear is what knife fit that bill for you. What did you get, or is coming, or that you're chasing that you're really excited to get? I know one that a lot of people are going to say is very difficult is going to be the Protec Malibu. And I was able to react quickly enough to get a pair of these. So I had originally the blue scaled with the smooth finish on it that I really did like, but when I saw they were coming out with this textured pattern, I just couldn't resist to grab this. So if you take into comparison some of these Lee knives that are coming out, if you look at the Mini Malice, that's $250, you can pick up a Protec Malibu With the smooth scales for 210, you just got to wait for them to come in stock. And then the textured version is right on par with it. It's around 240 if you're not getting the DLC coating. But I was very excited to get this. I knew how hard they were to get. I was chasing it on Instagram. I had my alerts and notifications set on, and when they posted that it was going to be released like on a Wednesday saying it was coming out on Friday, I made sure to set the time aside to be ready to log on, and I was able to snag one. Yes, I know they're a little hard to get. Protec really does, if they can, need to step up the production on these. I think they will continue to sell well without any issues. And this is definitely one of my favorite pickups of 2022. Granted, it is not a new knife, and that's not what this is about. It just is one that you're very excited to pick up. Not too many more, but I do want to go through my list here. The next one that I was very excited to pick up this year is going to be the Demco AD 20.5. Again, I know this is not for this year, but I really am glad that I picked this up. I did get the coated AUS 10A, and I was very excited because the aftermarket on this knife is really starting to pick up, so I was able to get some fat carbon scales and a deep carry pocket clip to really make it my own, which really just amped up the excitement of having this knife so much for me. And then Knife Center came out and with the exclusive 3V variant here, stonewashed, really nice, and then original goat scales. They came out in aluminum originally, but now they have the titanium, and they had the shark bite pattern, and I really just like the way that looks. I already have a vision for it. I can imagine what it's going to look like when I'm able to do something with the hardware to heat anodize, make it bronze, make the back spacer match. I think that's really going to give it just such a great pop of color. This is one of my favorite EDCs. I love the innovative shark lock. I love the action on it, the means of deployment. There's just so many ways to deploy it, but it's very nice to carry because it's thin and fits in the pocket, but it's actually big enough to fill the hand comfortably, and the ergos on it feel really good. I just really like this, and again, the way that it has performed. The 10A, I feel like Tuan has figured out whatever was going wrong with the initial, and now the 3V seems to be done pretty well. I think they're like 59.61 on the 3V. I'm not 100% sure. I know with 3V, because it is a tougher steel, I don't think it requires as high of a heat treat, but it seems to be doing really well. And again, really enjoying that lock, that knife a lot. Another one that I was very excited to pick up is going to probably surprise some folks, but one of the cheapest button locks on the market right now as of the time of this video, that has premium steel, really well done micarta, really good action, multiple means of deployment, has a very nice thin slicey blade, feels very comfortable in hand, and just really they knocked it out of the park with this one. So again, I know that there may be others that are cheaper, but I'm not counting anything with like D2 or not having as well of a finish in the materials. This has caged phosphor bronze washers with ceramic bearings in it. Really well done, very nicely milled out, and it feels really good in hand, and it totally reminds me of the Cogent. The Cogent has the hammerhead, so it has the same ending here where it looks like a hammerhead shark. It comes up like that, and it does hide the tab a little bit. This one here I think is like that without it, and it doesn't have all the aggressive milling and everything on it if you like yours to be a little bit more subdued, but it totally reminds me of the Cogent, even all the way up to the sounds. This is definitely my favorite budget pickup, and depending on what comes out this year under that $50 price point, this might be my pick for knife of the year. There is another one that's close on my radar that I have in my inventory that I'm considering, but this one really excites me because it's a very well executed button lock. Now, I am going to talk about one more knife that actually did come out this year. I'm sorry, two more knives that came out this year really quickly before I talk about my absolute favorite pickup of the year. It's going to be an older knife though. First is going to be the Kunmu X Towel. I still need to swap these Omega springs out for the heavier springs. I think it will actually really improve it, so that'll probably be a project for this weekend. I really do like this one a lot. Man, it's well made. I love the size of this. This is such a great size knife. I love the finish on it. It's like a orange peel on it, or maybe they took it into some type of stone bath or something to really dent up the titanium before they put the coating on it. And then the milling on it is really nice. I love these thumb studs. They're really great for deployment. Get in there nice. Without the flipper tab, it gives it a nice thin profile, and it carries well in the pocket, and just a little splash of color goes a long way on this knife. So this is a great 2022 release. That's the first batch. I imagine that it's sold out, and if it's the demand's there and the popularity is there, I can't see them not making it. But it may be, instead of L-Max, they might do crew wear or a different type of steel to bring it back to do the second batch, which makes it even more exciting, right? You can collect them all, or maybe your flavor of steel will be on the next variant of that. The next one that came out this year is going to be the Dawn. Again, with that gentlemanly EDC type knife, this thing is a game changer. Super thin and slicey, very gentlemanly. Great action with the front flipper and the fuller. Just a great knife, and this milling, it's a game changer. Like, it is really comfortable in hand, but you can feel that ribbing's there, so you feel nice and secure, and the ergos on this are outstanding. So this is a home run for me. And again, this is going to go on the more, this side here I think is more of like the small end of an EDC, what I would consider a gents carry or something that you can office carry. And then this stuff on this side is kind of flexing. It leans more towards the harder use EDC, in my opinion. The last knife that I want to talk about today, because I'm not talking about my sprints, because I have a couple sprints that are over here that I was very excited to get this year, but the knife so far this year that I'm most excited to have finally gotten my hands on, and some of you might know what I'm about to bring out here, it's going to be my Umanzon. I had a hard time for like a year trying to grab this knife. I've had opportunities for Sabenzas, but with the Incosian Hand, I wasn't really pressed for that. I really wanted a Zon super bad, and it did not disappoint. I think it's a great knife, great finishes. There's a lot of things about this knife that are great. Is it perfect? No. There's definitely some faults and flaws, but not to the point to where I got it in hand and I felt like, I regret meeting my idol kind of thing. You know what they say, never meet your idol. Well, that's not the case with this one. This one here is exactly what I expected. I know it's not a fidget monster. I know that it needs a little bit more breaking into to smooth out, but I really do like this a lot. It feels very comfortable. It's very capable, and I've very much enjoyed having this in hand. And again, if you're into a knife and it has to have that guillotine fidgety action, this is not going to be for you. But I recommend handling one, especially if you have a friend that has one that is really broken in nicely, so you can get an idea just what you're getting out of this. Even if you don't feel like you need to flip it out, it's such a satisfying sensation to slow roll this knife out. And again, it fits the hand so well, and I really like the looks. I feel like it's right. It's the perfect compromise of something that I would like to be hard used without being overkill for something that I want to carry in my pocket every day. Hopefully you enjoyed this format in this video. What are some things that you're excited about that you know are going to be coming out later this year? I know that We has one that I have my eye on that's coming out at around the time of this video that I'm making this video. I'm making it a little bit earlier because I got to get ahead of schedule, because vacation at the end of the month, so I want to make sure the content's there for everyone to enjoy, and so that I don't have that stress on my plate about trying to manage that while I'm taking some time off. But what are you excited about getting? What are you excited that you picked up? And again, it doesn't have to be brand new. It can be something that you've been chasing for a while that you were finally able to get your hands on. Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, leave a like. I appreciate when you guys tune in and when you interact. It's really fun for me, and sometimes it steers the direction of what I'm going to do with this channel, or maybe what I'm going to be doing with a future episode. So I really appreciate the interaction. You guys influence me just as much as I maybe perhaps influence you with my reviews, feedback, and input. Thanks for tuning in. If you're enjoying the content, consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, make sure your notification bell's turned to all or turned for all notifications. I hope all of you have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace.